want to talk about a fight that's going down April 16th, and that's between Errol Spence Jr. and Chris Algieri. Now, this fight is very intriguing for a number of reasons, in my opinion. This will be Errol Spence's first real big test. Now, Errol Spence has been in there with some solid competition. Phil Greco is a tough guy. He's a grinder. Chris Van Heerden, another tough, solid opponent. But these guys aren't nowhere near the level of Chris Algieri. And Chris Algieri has been in there, as we know, with the likes of Amir Khan, Manny Pacquiao, Ruslan Provodnikov, and Emmanuel Taylor, who I look at as a very solid pro, very athletic, very quick fighter in his own right. Now, Algieri is a plus 1100 here. And Errol Spence is a huge favorite. He's a huge favorite in this fight. He's a minus 2200, I believe. So I just look at this fight basically as a pretty even fight, given the fact that Errol Spence, as great as he looks against the current opposition he's been facing, it looks like he's been just mowing right through them. But Chris Algieri has a much, much, much better resume. And he's performed pretty well at the top level, with the exception of Manny Pacquiao, who I think, just dominated him. But if you look at Chris Algieri, in his last couple fights, he's really seemed to have come into his own. He looks gigantic. He looks really big for a welterweight. He's a big guy, 5'10", 72-inch reach. But in his last couple fights, physically, he's looked like he's really grown into this weight class. He looked very strong against Amir Khan. Had a very solid performance against Eric Bonet in his last fight this past December. So my question is Chris Algieri live in this fight? I'm going to have to say yes, he's really live in this fight. At worst, you could look at this as a 55-45 fight in favor of Errol Spence, but there's a ton of questions. There's a ton of questions. When you give Errol Spence the eye test, yeah, he looks very dynamic, very athletic, very solid puncher, goes to the body. He's a solid pro. But Chris Algieri is going to take the fight to him, and he's also going to be very quick. He's going to go in and out. He's going to be a hard test for Errol Spence to solve. It's going to be the biggest test of his career, whereas Algieri has been in with better fighters. I don't think Errol Spence is on the level of Manny Pacquiao yet, and arguably he may not even be on the level of Amir Khan. That's an argument could be made there. So if anyone is going to gamble on this fight, I think Chris Algieri is definitely worth a small play here. He's definitely live. I think his speed, his movement, and his newly acquired size at this 147-pound weight class, added to the strength that he's displayed recently, particularly against Amir Khan, I think this is going to be a solid test for Errol Spence, and I think it's a fight that he could lose. I don't argue that he should be favored, but being like a significant favorite like he is, I think that's crazy that they're undervaluing Chris Algieri like this. I think Algieri definitely has a shot in this fight. I definitely think he's worth a small play, and I'm actually going to lay a little bit of money on Chris Algieri here because he's such a huge underdog here. I think that he can make this fight very uncomfortable for Errol Spence, and he could possibly outwork him and steal a victory here. All right, guys, that's my opinion. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Is Chris Algieri live? Let me know in the comment section. That's all I got for you right now. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.